Headline: Hundreds of Antifa protesters clash with police outside Downing Street and are ridiculed for holding anti-democratic F Boris protests just hours after the nation voted to make Johnson Prime Minister. I've not read the article, links in the description, blah, blah, blah. Here's the article. Hundreds of anti-Boris protesters clashed with police last night when they took to the streets of London in a F Boris protest just hours after his emphatic election win. Demonstrators descended on Whitehall, central London at around 5 p.m, waving flags and placards around and shouting, "Not my Prime Minister," just hours after Mr. Johnson pledged to heal the divisions of Brexit as he returned to Downing Street after securing a crushing general election victory over Labour. But despite almost 14 million people voting in favour of Mr. Johnson's government, the comparatively tiny crowd seemingly unable to get over the election result, become embroiled in violent clashes with the police. It came after they were heard chanting slogans including "Boris Johnson is not my Prime Minister," "To hell with Boris Johnson," and "Boris, no, no, no." Observers across the political spectrum have called out the protesters for taking to the streets so soon after polls closed and ridiculing them for thinking they will overthrow the Prime Minister with such a small number. Okay, I mean, that's pretty much the story. The police essentially surrounded the protesters and scuffles occurred. They didn't like being surrounded. They didn't like the results, and they felt it's necessary and required to become violent, because how dare the electorate vote for who they think ought to be the Prime Minister? Why didn't they support any anarchist politicians? You know, that's the right thing to have done. As we all know, Bojo is obviously a racist because he has, some qualms about ladies wearing full-blown head-to-toe niqab. So he's obviously a racist for that reason alone. And obviously, the best thing to do is to riot and to be violent, to end the horrid racism that is of Boris's opinion, which he inflicts on nobody, by causing riots and protests, literally hours after a national election. So there are a few of the pictures. There's someone with a bloodied nose, an Antifa protester, getting into a bit of a fight with a few police officers. Probably wasn't the smartest move to make. And there's the Antifa flag, which we see from everywhere from the United States across Europe, and it's in the UK too. We see it in Australia too. So yeah, these Antifa boys and girls, they get around, don't they? I mean, they've had a presence in multiple countries. And they're able to form, relatively small crowds comparatively speaking, but seemingly dozens strong, hundreds strong, and very, very angry young people. So what, they've got their backing, haven't they? They've got their support. There's plenty of people out there that are willing to object to lawfully elected people. I mean, this situation is obviously a mirror of what's happened after the 2016 US election. And I guess we can just expect this to continue. So there'll continue to be these protests from, again, these young people that, to me, I assume are communists, Marxists, and feminists. I assume that they don't have jobs. I mean, look, you got a haircut like that. How can you have a proper job, mate? You can't. So these will continue to have this hate-filled attitude. Not my PM. But he is, though. He was voted in. So if you're a resident or a citizen of the UK, yeah, he's your Prime Minister. What are you going to do? You're just going to be angry? Is that your plan? just continue to be angry. I mean, it seems like a good little article if you wanted to spend some time on it. Again, the link's in the description. It always will be with my videos. And there are quite a few tweets posted here. Protest what? That they didn't like the outcome. Sorry, but the election was yesterday. Boris won and won well. Yeah, he did win well, didn't he? I mean, as far as I understand, it was being called a landslide. So yeah, I mean, that's winning well, isn't it? Here's another one. After the huge majority Boris has just won, how can they even think this protest is relevant? Have they even been taught about democracy? Yeah, look, I fully agree. I mean, if you're going to win by a landslide, then you got no argument. What is your argument? Oh, we don't like the person. Well, but everyone else does, mate. So you're shit out of luck. You're out of luck. You're SOL. You with your socialist worker magazine, newspaper. Yeah, you have your opinion. Other people have theirs. You know, you're just in a society which does not favour your position. And you know, let's seeing how decrepit your opinion is. Let's hope it remains that way.